For our discussion, we will be focusing on Module 2.5, which is your midterm summative assessment. For your midterms, you will be having a policy proposal paper. To shed further light with that, this is our agenda and flow of discussion. So, first, we will be having a review of the previous modules that we discussed already, and then we will connect it with the think tank, which is the formative assessment 3. And as we all know, FA3 think tank is connected with your midterm paper. And the third agenda, we will be discussing the details and specifics of your midterm paper. Last two agenda will be allotted for clarifications and consultation. Okay, so now let's have a review of what happened in the previous modules and the previous weeks for this semester. So if you can remember, the first two modules focuses more on the contexts of your fellow communicators. With the first module, we'll look at the different context of communication, specifically the social cohorts. And with the second module, we focused more on the cultural background of a fellow communicator. Having this sense of awareness, hopefully we will be able to adjust and learn how to communicate better and in a more professional manner whenever we deal with other people. Now, with the coming weeks, with the coming coming modules rather, we will be shifting our focus from addressing your audience. This time, we will be focusing on your own skill, which is developing and honing your writing, speaking skills, and of course, communicating in various platforms, may it be online or face to face. Now, for midterms, we will be focusing on your writing skills. And then towards the end, towards the finals, that's when we will have your speech activities. Now, for your midterm paper, we have allotted the formative assessment 3 to serve as a guide and outline in writing your midterm paper. When you submitted your think tank, and then after I am done checking that one, I hope you want to consider the comments and suggestions given when you choose the topic for your midterm paper. First thing to consider in choosing the topic is the viability of the topic based on the comments and suggestions, and of course, further thinking about the topic. Hopefully, you were able to think about which specific context, which specific topic would be a good point to explore in your midterm paper. Second consideration, you might want to think of the grades given, as it will give you a clue on which of the topics and discussions that you provided are good enough already. Now, with the third point, given the topics or given the grades and the comments, those are not the sole factors that I want you to consider. Third and most importantly, I want you to think of the topic. I want you to choose the topic that you really want to work on and you're more passionate when it comes to discussing that one, because it will be your paper and I would want to give you the freedom in choosing the topic that you want to explore further with your midterm policy proposal paper. Now, in choosing your topic, I would suggest that you just simply focus on one specific concern, and then you might want to discuss one probable solution, or if the two probable solutions you have discussed, they are interconnected with each other, you may discuss them as well in your policy proposal paper. Moving on, to help you motivate when it comes to writing this paper, I would like to discuss the purposes on why we will have a policy proposal paper for your midterm summative assessment. So I have listed here 3 reasons, but please do not limit yourselves with these possible reasons. First, of course, for pragmatic purposes, for pragmatic reasons, you need to work on this paper for you to pass the subject. Not to put too much pressure on your shoulder, but to be frank and to be clear, okay? This paper will be given 15% in your entire grade for the entire purposive communication class. That's why I am hoping that you work better on this paper and give, more effort when it comes to working on your policy proposal paper. Apart from the practical reason, allow me to elaborate certain ideological reasons why you need to work on this paper. Second, it will help us apply, or this will be an opportunity for you to apply the things that you have learned, not just with this subject, but more likely you can integrate the learnings and knowledge that you got from other subjects as well. And in terms of writing, this is also an opportunity for you to recall your knowledge when it comes to APA, citation, in terms of writing conventions, and this also serve as a platform. Okay, this will serve as a platform for you to express yourself formally and professionally in terms of the various contexts and probable concerns around us. I'm sure you have certain opinions and ideas with a lot of concerns that are arising around us. And apart from your social media and informal discussions with your friends or family members, hopefully this paper will serve as an avenue for you to express yourself in a more professional manner, not just by simply ranting it online or, with informal discussions. And lastly, as cliche as this may sound, okay, hopefully, we can make the world a better place. What do I mean by this? We should be thankful that we are part and we have this opportunity to explore our knowledge and better our knowledge because we are in an academic field. And I feel that we also have this responsibility to give back to the various contexts where we belong, may it be in school, our field of passion and expertise, and even our community. So with this paper, hopefully, we will be able to provide better solutions with the pending problems and concerns that are surrounding us. So hopefully Michael Jackson will be proud of us. So these are some of the reasons why I need you to work better for this paper. And, during those times wherein you feel so down and you don't know what to do with this paper, I hope you go back to this slide and this will hopefully remind you why you need to work on this paper. Now, in writing your paper, these are the parts of your policy proposal paper. With this slide, you are seeing that there are 4 parts for your policy proposal paper. Now, let's begin with the first one. The backgrounder will be your introduction in your policy proposal paper. In the introduction or in this backgrounder, you will be preparing your readers on what will be the content and organization of your discussion. I would suggest that you discuss to them what is happening in status quo. In this way, you are able to paint the background and prepare your reader on what will be the focus and main topic of your paper. It would be helpful if you cite certain observations, certain logical proof, such as data, statistics, and credible sources to help you in supporting your claim in your discussion. Remember, your personal experiences may not be similar with the experiences of other people. Same goes with your observation. Your observation may also be different with the observation of others. That's why it's vital that you cite general and credible sources in discussing your backgrounder. The introduction will guide and lead the reader on what will be the specific discussion with the body of your paper. Now, with the second and third part, this will be the body of your paper. We have divided it into 2 parts, which is the thesis and the proposal. With the thesis part, you're going to discuss here what will be the main concern or what is the main observed problem in your policy proposal. And with the with the second part of your thesis, you're going to discuss what is the probable solution that you are forwarding. So your thesis statement need not to be very long as you're straight to the point and it's clear, you're good to go. And the elaboration for the policy proposal, for the proposed solution, will be coming in on the third part, which is the proposal. So I hope you can elaborate here your suggested solution or solutions. And then if it would be helpful, it would be possible for you to cite sources and discussions that will substantiate your idea. In discussing and elaborating your proposed solution, I want you to take into consider the factors of logical proof and the feasibility of your proposal. Most of the students provide solutions or forward solutions, but they are more likely on the theoretical level. So think of it as if your solution will be done and implemented in real life already. Okay, so you have to consider those factors. And lastly, to tie up and wrap up your discussion, the fourth part will be your conclusion. This will end your discussion. And when you end your discussion, make sure that you recap first what happened with the previous parts. It would be helpful if you emphasize certain points that are very much valuable, and once you have highlighted those vital points, you summarize them, you wrap it up, and from there you will solidify your policy proposal. So remember, your policy proposal may be a proposal in wherein you are forwarding a certain policy, a certain rule, law, or change in status quo wherein you deem that there is something missing, okay, na merong kulang. Also, it could also be a form of change. There is an existing policy, there's an existing rule, law, or standard for that observed concern. However, you feel that the existing policy or existing rule law in status quo is not that complete or it's not that substantial. That's why you want to forward specific amendments or change when it comes to that existing policy. So these are the parts of your paper. So there are four: backgrounder, thesis, policy, the proposal proper, and then the conclusion. If you will observe, we follow basic organization for your essay. So number 1 will be the introduction, numbers 2 and 3 will be the body, and number 4 will be the ending. It's vital that you organize your paper in this manner, as the saying goes when it comes to writing. Okay, in the introduction part, you have to tell your readers what you will tell them. Okay, you have to prepare them, and with the body, you have to tell them what you need to tell them. So this is like the content. And then with the conclusion and with the ending, you have to tell your readers what you just told them. In this way, you are guiding your readers process their thoughts whenever they read your paper. So these are the parts and certain guidelines that will hopefully help you in writing your professional thought and ideas about this policy proposal. Let's move on with the next slide, which will be more of the technical directions of your policy proposal paper. At this point, if you have any questions or clarifications, feel free to raise your hand or raise it so we can address it. Now, when it comes to the technical directions, I would like to emphasize that I would want you to follow the APA citation style. For this paper and for the entire course actually, we will be using APA citation. APA citation is a guide. I would suggest and I would recommend this certain website, which is Purdue OWL. So Google it. You type Purdue. Purdue is a university. And then OWL stands for Online Writing Laboratory. Personally, I kept on saying this. I do not memorize the APA citation, and I feel that it is futile to memorize it because from time to time it it evolves, it updates itself. So before we have APA 4, now currently, okay, now not currently pa. Currently we are with APA 7. Okay, so who knows, in certain times or in the future, it will be updated to APA, so on and so forth. So hopefully you brush up on your knowledge when it comes to citation style, because it will help you in writing your papers so that it will be more logical and credible. And also it will help you even with your other subjects, hopefully. And when you write your paper, your bachelor's thesis, you can, rely on this website. This is my go-to website. Personally, I do not rely on Google Answers, because there are cases wherein Google Answers are not updated. Hence, it would be helpful if you have like a certain go-to website that you can rely on. And based on personal experience, Purdue OWL, this website, updates itself from time to time. So this is some of the guide that you can work on when it comes to citation. Also, with APA citation, you have to take note of your in-text citation category. This will be the citation in the body of your paper, the four parts of your policy proposal. Hopefully, you can apply proper in-text citation. And then, after the conclusion, you should have your bibliographic reference, your biblio citation. So, for APA, we use the term references. Okay? Now, let's move on when it comes to grading your paper. This will be the rubric that we will follow in grading your midterm summative assessment. I would suggest that you review the rubric after you're done writing your paper, and then try to check it for yourself if you were able to accomplish the description given for each of the criteria for the rubric. So in our rubric, we have 3 criteria. So we have content, thought organization, and writing convention. So for content, it will be awarded 50 points, and this will be the bigger chunk actually when it comes to the criteria for grading for your summative assessment. So the content of your paper should have the following standards. First, there was a proper introduction and ending. You were able to provide a good intro and, of course, a good ending. Another one, discussions are well expounded. So I will not be giving you page number limit for your midterm paper, because it depends on the topic that you will be focusing on. Some topics need further elaboration, and some needs just the right amount of discussion. So it depends actually on the topic. That's why I cannot give you a cap when it comes to page number of your discussion for your policy proposal paper. Last, references and appendices are provided. This will be part of the content criteria. References are a must, okay? This is mandatory. You should have bibliographic citation at the end of your paper. However, appendices are not mandatory. So if you have like additional attachment that for your paper, like photos, statistics, and other more, you can have them in the appendices part. So just to remind, appendices are not mandatory. Kung may appendices, okay. Kung wala, okay lang din. Alright? So these are some of the points to consider whenever you look at the content criteria of your paper. Next criteria, we have thought organization. Thought organization is 30 points. In thought organization, we will be looking at how you organize your ideas, such as sentences and paragraph formation. So hopefully your sentences and your paragraph will flow smoothly. I have experienced this wherein a certain student wrote a sentence, but it's not an actual sentence. So there's it's not a sentence because it's just a phrase. There's a missing part of the sentence. Remember, a sentence should have a subject and a predicate. And on the other hand, there are cases wherein students write lengthy sentences. We call them as run on sentences, wherein when you read the entire sentence, you might lose your breath, and certain long or run on sentence can be chunked into sentences. All right. So try to refrain from writing and working with run on sentences. Same goes with paragraph. There are cases wherein a student submits an entire essay with just one paragraph. So you have to make sure that you practice proper paragraph formation and paragraph cut. What do I mean by paragraph cut? For example, you have your paragraph, you reread it, and then if you were able to see that the paragraph already discusses two different points and topics, it would be helpful if you chunk the single paragraph into two paragraphs. Okay, so make sure that your paragraph has a single uniform topic sentence so that you will not be lost when you write your paragraph. Same goes when it comes to paragraph formation. So, paragraph to another paragraph should flow smoothly. There are good transition devices such as transition sentences at the end of the paragraph, wherein you will be introducing or transitioning to the next paragraph, or you can use transitional words like however, additionally, in conclusion, so on and so forth. Okay, that will those transitional devices or transitional words will guide your reader on what will be the flow of your discussion or the organization of your thoughts. Lastly, ideas from the beginning to the end are coherent. So, the beginning, introduction, and the conclusion are proper. It's vital that you catch the attention of your readers. Same goes when it comes to ending. It's also vital that you wrap up your discussion. Do not leave your audience, your reader, hanging. And with the last criteria, we have writing convention. So this will be 20 points. So what are the considerations that we have for this criteria? First, grammatical errors are minimal to none. Based on experience, whenever I check papers, most of the time, common grammar errors committed by students are as follows. We have subject verb agreement. Okay, make sure you brush up on your grammar knowledge with that. Second, I always see students write the pronoun I. Okay, the pronoun I, whenever they refer to themselves as the writer, they write it in lowercase. So remember, this is like black and white rule when it comes to academic writing. Always write the pronoun I in uppercase. Okay? And then, apart from that, there are also irregular verbs and nouns that we do not add S, but they are plural already. I often see students write and add S to certain words such as media so I see medias. Okay, media is already in plural form. Okay, and then informations, no informations, it's just information. Equipment, staff, stuff, okay, STAFF, walang S yon. STUFF, stuffs, come on, there's no S with that, okay? So, those are some of the common grammar errors that I usually see whenever I check papers. And then, second point, when it comes to writing conventions, typographic and document errors are minimal to none. So, here's a suggestion. After you're done writing your paper, usually it depends, okay? It depends on your time clock. But usually at night, once you're done writing your paper, sleep over it before you submit it, okay? That's why cramming is not a good thing. Sleep over it, and then once your neurons are refreshed, go back to your paper, reread it. Okay, reread your paper and see. The idea is, the person who wrote the paper last night is very much different with the person who will be reading it in the morning. So it would be a lot easier for you to spot possible typographic and spelling errors in your paper. Lastly, APA citation and format was applied properly. So I still see students asking, "Ma'am, what is the font style and font size that we will use for APA?" If you will go to the website that I have referred to you, that website discusses everything about APA, from the font size, font style, the spacing, the margin, what paper to use if you're going to print it, up to the body, and up to the format of PowerPoint presentation if you will abide by APA citation. It discusses everything coherently. That's why I love Purdue OWL website. And apart from APA, they also discuss MLA citation. So I would suggest you go there so that you can work on your writing conventions. So your the criteria will give us a total of 100 points, and you just simply multiply the score that you will get to 15%, and that will already give you an idea what will be your score grading when it comes to your midterm policy proposal paper. Moving on with my last slide for point of discussion, we have here deadlines and submission. So the deadline for this paper will be second week of week 8 for our semester, and it's 10 p.m. And then Canvas, you have to submit it in Canvas, and one submission per pair, per individual, or per group in Canvas. Please take note that our formative assessments in Canvas, you are given 2 attempts. However, when it comes to summative assessments, you are only given 1 attempt. That's why I hope you can review it before you submit it, so that we can give value to the sanctity button, to the sanctity of the submit button. Okay? So, with this, do you have any clarifications? Please feel free to share your points, and then if you wish to consult later, please let me know.